What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video. And today we're going to be doing the Dallas Cowboys offseason and 2022 NFL specific 7-round mock draft video. If you guys, of course, have your favorite teams that are not the Dallas Cowboys, or you guys love the Cowboys and you just love mock drafts, this is your place to be. Like, comment, subscribe, join the community. Links down in the description, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, all that jazz. Feel free, hit me up there or just in the comments section below. Without further ado, let's go into this because we got a lot of fun to unpack. I've already recorded the mock draft because, again, that's honestly it's honestly the most fun part. And how the hell would I get this graphic up if you guys did not know some hints to who was coming? So stay tuned because I know you guys are probably liking the guy on the right of your screen. So let's talk about some offseason departures because this team has actually quite a few of them. Cedric Wilson, Michael Gallup, Dalton Schultz, Jerron Kearse, Connor Williams, LVE, Ty Nsekhe, as well as a multitude of other safeties, all up for contracts. So when it comes to Cedric Wilson, he's been a very talented contributor to the squad. Definitely a talented wide receiver nonetheless. I think he would be a very solid number 3. That doesn't mean that I think that he should be. I think he's a very good contributor, number 4, and giving him just about 8 million, probably like what the average right there. I'm thinking about that. That should be like what 8.6 million a year to be a contributor number 4 in an offense that honestly does use some pretty wide spreads pretty often. I think that would be a very good spot to be. Again, I'm not factoring this into the full mock draft because I think that you should have a little bit of factoring it in, but nothing should be guaranteed because honestly, if the Cowboys want to save some cap and don't want to spend 24.5 million on a wide receiver, then probably the draft's the right way to go. However, I still kind of factor it in. I'm pretty much going back on what I said, but again, you'll see what I mean when the mock draft comes. I think that he could be a very solid number 4, number 3 style wide receiver. Michael Gallup, unfortunately, I think he's going to try to pursue some more cash elsewhere. Obviously his injury wasn't too bueno for his upcoming contract year, but definitely somebody I could see getting the tag if the Dallas Cowboys are like, screw it, let's tag him. But I think that he's probably going to want to go somewhere, which I've actually already factored him into another team's offseason because I'm trying to get a little bit ahead on all that stuff. Dalton Schultz, he's been a very big contributor on this team. I could definitely see him reaching into that 10 million a year category. Could he get up into that 15 million? I don't know. I don't think he's proven as much as Dallas Goedert has year after year after year. That being said, it is the Dallas Cowboys. I could see them trying to get a 3-year, $45 million contract. It just really depends on how much money they have, how much money they really value in terms of Dalton Schultz in his future. Because again, you think about what's happening in the 2023 draft, that is a stacked tight end class, especially I forget his name. He's a kid out of Georgia, but now he actually, I think, is part of Georgia. Went to LSU originally, and his name's Eric something. I'm bugging, but that's even another guy to factor in. So that next year tight end class is stacked. So it just really depends. Obviously, I don't think teams look forward enough in the draft to be able to fully understand and plan for the future. Kayvon Kearse has been absolutely baller for this team. So bringing him back on a 2-year, $10 million contract seems like it might be a little bit underpaid. Don't look at the duration amount and just think that is a solidified amount. That's just me playing around with some fun figures. Just, again, don't take it too seriously. Connor Williams, I think, is going to try to pursue some more money, maybe over in Arizona. I just don't think that he is the future here in Dallas. Leighton Vander Esch, a guy who's just been performing very poorly since his first year there, his rookie year. Unfortunately, he did actually start performing a little bit better in his final year. That being said, still not spectacular. I think that he has potential, and we saw that his rookie year, but he just hasn't been up to the standard that he should be. Ty Nsekhe, a swing tackle. I wish that we could re-sign him, but he is the exact style of tackle that you don't re-sign. He's just somebody you bring in when you want some guys there. Obviously, Josh Ball developing as a backup tackle. Other safeties as well. Again, I don't think you have the money to continue re-signing guys, but let's continue going into a new part of this series. Unfortunately, Eagles fans, we're not doing this for your guys' video. Potential cuts and trades, because I think that's a pretty big one. And Amari Cooper obviously this team's big under the cap, and Amari Cooper did not show out in the time they needed to the most. He has a very large contract. He has a $100 million contract, and with a team that's very cap strong, that's probably going to be on that trade market. Again, you have CeeDee Lamb, who can be a true number one wide receiver. And honestly, if this becomes true, the mock draft's even more validated with some of its selections. You guys will see exactly what I mean. Anthony Brown as well. He's coming up into his final year of his contract this coming up year, and he has absolutely no guaranteed left, so you can free up a good amount of money right there. DeMarcus Lawrence, he also has a lot of money that you can save from either cutting or trading him. Just again, I think that he hasn't been consistent enough to be able to warrant, like, again, he's not the marquee edge rusher for the Cowboys. That's become Micah Parsons. That being said, DeMarcus Lawrence is still really good. I just don't think that with his contract, he's going to be that intriguing to a lot of teams. It's hard to say that he can be that 12 to 16 sack guy that would be warranting a first, if not two first, which edge rushers who are of that elite category usually get. Again, trade amount, that's just an arbitrary number. It doesn't mean that they are going to go for that. Could DeMarcus Lawrence go for a first? 100%. Honestly, a team like Atlanta, if they're really dying for someone like DeMarcus Lawrence, they could give up maybe a 2023 first-round pick. Just an example. But I think that could be definitely someone who you could see on the move. Same thing with Tristan Hill coming up in the final year of his contract. And just it's a way to save some cash. So that's where we're at right now. And then let's look at some offseason targets for this team. Emmanuel Sanders, obviously, I think he's a very good, unique veteran wide receiver to help grow guys like Cedric Wilson, and who's going to be coming up in the mock draft would definitely be somebody who's good there in the locker room. Tyrell Crosby, a swing tackle, definitely somebody who has shown out in some weeks over his career. So somebody, if injuries happen, which we all know, Tyron Smith can't stay healthy, Tyrell Crosby could definitely fit in at a specific spot. I know he usually, I believe, played right tackle because Taylor Decker played left there for a while, but still able to be a swing tackle, being able to fit in, still young as well, cheap contract. Foyesade Oluokun, talking about the Atlanta Falcons, if you guys are able to manage getting some salary cap open for him, again, this is not at all factored into this slide right here, not factored at all into the mock draft. Just these are some fun options to fill some needs if need be. But Foyesade Oluokun, very solid linebacker, and I think that he'd be perfect to replace that vacancy that's coming as well. So LVE obviously going to be gone. That would be his spot. But then obviously I think Micah Parsons might be switching more to a part-time edge rusher, like a more heavier on the part-time rather than he's the linebacker that blitzes, right? So I think that he could become a little bit more like that. Having somebody like you guys will see, and you guys have already seen on the title slide, there to replace him. Now you have Foyesade along with your new target. That is going to be a good pairing. James Daniels, another guy who I think would be a bomb ass selection for the squad if they don't want to go offensive line in the draft. Again, if they can somehow free up $12 million a year, that's going to be perfect. And again, those trades, maybe DeMarcus Lawrence and that stuff, that would be a very big plus. So James Daniels certainly going to be the right move to be able to bring on if they can do it. Anthony Harris. So it's pretty much known that a lot of players just have a dream of coming to the Cowboys because they can get paid. Anthony Harris could just come here and get a bigger boost than what he should. Did not perform at the level that he used to in Minnesota over in Philadelphia. So he's going to get probably a $3 million boost to come to Dallas and play lights out under Dan Campbell, not Dan Campbell. Oh my God. I can't believe I just said that, but you guys know what I mean. It's very late at night, but Anthony Harris would be bomb in this defense. But then Ndamukong Suh having him come in and replacing where Tristan Hill would be. Obviously the run game needs to be stopped. Wasn't really done that well this year. Ndamukong Suh might be a very good asset to the squad. So I'm going to release y'all to the mock draft. Thank you guys so much for watching this portion of the video. Have fun. Peace. Welcome in everybody to the mock draft. It is time. It's time for some fun. It's time for some greatness. Of course, it is so weird recording this because I always record it before I record the prequel so that you guys have an updated cover little card or thumbnail for you guys. So definitely weird to have that intro, but you guys are here. Let's have some fun. Let's kick it off with this mock draft. So, of course, I've already gotten one of these out for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, if you're a Philly fan just trying to shit on the Dallas Cowboys, well, there's a place where you guys can hype yourselves up too, because I had a very fun off-season video for that. Of course, if you guys do know the series, because I used to just do the mock draft, well, we're deciding to do something just the same, and that is making sure that we do not do trades, because those, in my opinion, are highly variable. Same thing with the amount of players that are on the board. Of course, Garrett Wilson shouldn't be here. Tyler Linderbaum shouldn't be here, but we'll leave that for another day. Of course, I'm going to try to draft as realistically as possible for the Dallas Cowboys. And when you think about guys who very well might be drafted to this team, Nakobe Dean certainly is at the top of that list. I think there is kind of a hierarchy of needs for this team, so to speak. And that's going to be a new linebacker. Obviously, you guys have seen on the slides, LVE is a guy who's going to be probably gone. I would re-sign him for a 1-year deal just to say, hey, come prove it. But obviously, that probably would have been done already if you guys actually believe that there was something there. Really, really unfortunate. Tyler Linderbaum, I'm not going to take the same guy in the first round multiple times in a row. However, if he is here, I would highly suggest it just to keep him at guard, or not keep him at guard, put him to guard, or of course you can put Tyler Thibodeaux at guard, because Tyler Linderbaum's an absolute freak. But Nakobe Dean is another one of those guys I have a blue chip grade on. Just an absolutely phenomenal linebacker out of Georgia. I got to give a shout out right to Brian Asamoah. He actually is like 1 point or 2 points below Nakobe. I absolutely love Brian Asamoah. So if you guys haven't seen him, guy's phenomenal. Absolutely love him. But another position we can target here is safety, because of course, like there was, I think 3, maybe 4 safeties up for contracts. We brought back Jaron Curse. So cool. Of course, that's not official or anything. That's the toughest thing, is the fact that I can't make them official. I still think taking a shot on someone like Kirby Joseph wouldn't be a bad idea. But of course, I think the best value is to get a blue chip prospect here in Nakobe Dean. I think Micah Parsons might be moving more to an edge rusher role anyways. So getting someone of Nakobe Dean's talents, who shouldn't be here in the real draft, again, based on his grade, my grade, he should be a top 10 player. But the guy's absolutely phenomenal. Big fan of him overall. Let's just see what happens, because again, this is a stacked linebacker class. But when you are losing one of the key contributors to your team, going after a more of a coverage / blitz linebacker, which honestly is not too far off from what Micah does, but getting somebody who's a little bit more coverage based might be the right move and the best value at that point. Of course, I would be able to see something like Brian Asamoah being this target in the second round. Of course, we're not taking any trades, because again, you see guys like Brian Asamoah, that's like, obviously Oklahoma is what, an hour north of, it's in Arlington, not in Dallas. So you guys know it's like within a couple hours of Dallas Cowboys, one of the closest universities not named SMU. So pretty cool, pretty damn cool. I think that could be a very cool connection that I would not take a risk on it, because I do think that he goes early round 2 in the what I would do mock draft, which is coming up. So you guys should watch it. Or if you guys are watching this later, feel free to check in on whichever mock draft is up, because I like to change my opinions all the time, because more tape comes out, more guys I fall in love with, more guys where I start watching even more and I'm like, ee. So you just got to see, because my opinion's always honest. Every single time it's going to be honest. I don't know if you guys just saw it, because I have a timing filter on blue light, but my computer just flipped from blue light filter to normal, and it just went from yellow to blue. So it was just like a crazy moment right there. But yeah, obviously I like them keep it real. I like to say I'm wrong when I'm wrong, because there's no reason to be an arrogant piece of garbage. So let's keep going on with this. Of course, since Brian Asamoah already went, I feel really confident about us going that Nakobe Dean pick. So at this point, oh my God, this is just bullshit. But I would consider someone like Jalen Petrie here. Obviously, I don't think the slot corner position with Anthony Brown is really filled full time. So going after someone like Jalen Petrie should be the right move. Honestly, for this series, I would consider, I'm still playing around with it. Obviously, this is episode 2, but I think that we should consider the guys who I think we should re-sign as guys who do re-sign. Because again, there's no reason for me to say, hey, let's re-sign a tight end and then me draft a tight end immediately after, right? Of course, later rounds, you can always take shots on them. But I still think someone like Jalen Petrie could be a very, very good addition to the squad. That being said, I'm probably not going to go that route. I do like the idea of going offensive line since we've on one offensive position or one defensive. One offensive position would be great as well. I might still go to the AAC, which is, again, you see Tulsa at least once a year in this AAC battling SMU, not to mention teams like Houston, Cincinnati, teams that do compete in our area. Tyler Smith, certainly a guy who I would heavily target here. He is a top 32 player on my board. But wide receiver wise, you got guys like Calvin Austin here who I would absolutely love on this roster. And this is just me speaking. I really do think he goes to this team. If you guys haven't seen his Senior Bowl tape, this guy roasted the corner every single rep. He's a natural separator. You think of him similar to basically a better version of Tavon Austin. It's hard to find like a legit comp for him, but he is just so agile and so like he's very smooth, very shifty. Think of obviously Tony Pollard, but smaller and as a wide receiver, which Tony Pollard could probably do. But again, we've drafted guys out of Memphis before who've had a big impact. I think Calvin Austin is going to continue that train. Obviously, Kenny Gainwell, Tony Pollard, Henderson, and then now, of course, Calvin Austin, all guys who are going to make a big impact. Is it crazy to say that this is the right move? Maybe. But obviously, assuming that Cedric Wilson came back, you're still looking for somebody to also be a big weapon with the ball in his hands. Because again, Gallup is a very big loss. And I think Calvin Austin could be a big answer to that. So let's go Calvin Austin here out of Memphis. Again, I think he's going to be a big riser. He's going to test very well. Guy is lightning quick. Could be in the low 4.3s, high 4.2s. And again, speed always kills. And he's somebody who's dynamic with the ball in his hands. I would definitely take a shot on him, to say the least. Of course, by our next pick, if someone like Sky Moore were there, I would just say that maybe you should take him then. But I wouldn't take a chance on that because, again, of course, George Pickens, like, he shouldn't be here. But like guy like Sky Moore, he's not even going to us. Every time, both times the Eagles have snagged my guy. So screw you, Eagles. I know you guys will like that. So subscribe because I just said that. But regardless, this pick right here is going to be offensive line. Left guard is going to be not filled. And again, this is something that y'all will be probably commenting down in the comment section below. For the people who do not listen, left tackle should be a priority to fill long-term. Tyler Smith is a pure left tackle out of Tulsa, but I think he fits better in the short run as a guard until he becomes technically proficient. And you know who's great at developing that? Probably a Hall of Fame style veteran like Tyron Smith. And I think that is perfect for someone like Tyler Smith to basically, you got Tyler and Tyron going next to each other. That's going to be nasty. Again, Tyron Smith is not going to be somebody who is going to be around forever. So it really sucks to say that because he's been a phenomenal talent when healthy. The problem is he hasn't been healthy consistently, and that's led to a lot of issues. Getting someone like Tyler Smith to develop at that guard spot where we're losing Connor Williams is going to be great because then you get to analyze that with being able to also project a tackle in maybe a year, maybe two, whenever Tyron wants to call it, whenever he wants to be able to lace up. What was it like? Hang the cleats up. I can't believe I forgot that term. I literally saw it in my head with what Marshawn Lynch did on like a power line, or telephone line. Regardless, I think that that's going to be the best move for the team. I would still consider another linebacker here in Troy Anderson. I keep spelling his name wrong apparently, and that's totally on me because he's a really good linebacker. I'm a big fan of him. But this very well might be a safety pick if we have the right guy on the board. And I'm actually going to do it. So this guy has been making play after play after play. And there's somebody who's a resident GT fan down in the comment section below, Richard Lelly. And there is like 8 clips that this dude has posted. Yes, some of them are on repeat, but he has at least had 3 pick sixes from the end zone. Like, this guy's a playmaker, and I'm all here for it. And he made a big play in that. I believe it was the East-West Shrine Bowl. They have the full thing up online, by the way, guys. So there's no excuse not to watch every single play in its entirety because it's honestly a pretty fun game too because you get to see some real stars like Wanye Thomas here. in a very poor safety class, which is crazy because it was supposed to be like the best safety class of all time until all the dudes decided to return. Wanye Thomas is a star. And I think this team is the perfect team to take him. Again, if you're able to take a ball pick to the house multiple times in a row, you have some God-given speed. Georgia Tech knows what the hell they're doing when they're developing that. Again, yes, you might be getting ran all over because I'm not going after an interior defensive lineman right here. I get that. But again, also, this is not the deepest interior defensive line class. So honestly, in retrospect, I might just add in interior defensive line free agent pick for you guys in retrospect. So also another fun reason of doing it in reverse. A little bit of cheating there, but of course, those guys are more of targets rather than people who I am going to factor in, like saying I'm going to bring back Cedric Wilson and then going to be drafting multiple wide receivers. It doesn't make sense. But adding in one more dynamic wide receiver who can play some running back as well, that to me makes a little bit more sense with what the Cowboys would be going after. Again, Cedric Wilson might not be even be re-signed. So number is 166. Again, I think you could go after an edge player here. Somebody like Michael Clemens would certainly be a very good option. You can start taking another shot on a corner, Jermaine Waller in here. I like Houston corners. Josh Thompson, I'm not a huge fan of personally. But looking at some of the guys in here, Tariq Castro-Fields has some potential as well. You don't really need a corner, though. You have a lot of young developing talent there. Offensive tackle is just not a good – it's not a good tackle class. Don't listen to people who say that it is unless they're talking about the top of the class, where your top 3 are solidified top 10 players, and that's a good sign. Again, like last year we only had 2. Plus, I honestly thought that the top 12 player in the class was he went to the Vikings. Ooh, I forgot his name. I'm not going to pull it out. It's 1 a.m. So regardless, I think that honestly, this might be a good spot to take a shot on an interior defensive lineman. I just don't see anybody who would actually offer anything to this squad. Looking at someone like Justin Ross, I don't know, just because TJ Vasher is also there. And I don't know if Justin Ross really offers much to this team. You could go Thayer Mumford here, get some extra depth in terms of offensive line. Honestly, I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull the trigger on Justin Ross out of Clemson. Again, you're going to have him paired up with TJ Vasher as well. I mean, it's a 5th-round pick, guys. And Justin Ross was supposed to be a top 10, top 20 player in the 2021 draft. So, you know, it's worth taking a shot on. He's going to obviously compete with, oh, man, I literally just said his name in my head, too. Kid out of Stanford along with TJ Vasher. So Simi Fehoko. There we go. If Michael Clemens is still on the board, I'm taking him. Again, you don't need an edge player, but this guy is so damn good and nobody's talking about him. Michael Clemens out of Texas A&M. He's 270 pounds and is a almost speed rusher. So, I mean, yeah, he's a little bit inconsistent with his wins, but I absolutely cannot stop watching him. Like when you saw DeMarvin Leal move inside and just become a boring POS, this dude kept me entertained. So thank you, big thank you to my boy Michael Clemens there for making at least Iowa, or not Iowa, geez, I just saw Van Valkenburg and I was like, Iowa, but making Texas A&M a lot more fun to watch, even though we lost a great talent there in DeMarvin Leal as an edge rusher. At this spot, I would probably start going for best player available. And I'm not going to be going after Michael McFadden again. That's just a little bit too much. And again, there are a lot of linebacker safety hybrids on this team. Ja'Tyre Carter is somebody who I would really like to pick up, but there's no real reason for it. Verone McKinley, honestly, if he's still here, you might as well take him. I have like a 3rd-round grade on the guy. It's just so disrespectful at this point. So getting Wanye Thomas, Verone McKinley, again, you're losing like 3 or 4 safeties anyways. So this is probably a good thing to continue adding talent. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know if we have any more picks because that's honestly something I should have done. I'll take that on the chin, but I don't know if they actually have a 7th-round pick. Regardless if they do or not, I'm pretty enthused with how our draft fell because there's not many guys I really like down the line. Dontario Drummond's probably the only other dude I like on the board besides Bo Melton. You know, that's probably just the way it's going to go. Yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of many of these other guys. Tay Barber, I actually really like, and DJ Matthews, but I don't think they get drafted. honestly. Just not exciting players, to say the least. And I'm pretty sure Derek King's not in this class. I don't know why he's still on the board. But regardless, we'll see what happens. And I do not think we have a pick. We'll see. We got the intrigue going on, and we do not. So that is going to be the draft, guys. Nakobe Dean, Calvin Austin, Tyler Smith, all guys who are going to start immediately, including potentially Wanye Thomas, not to mention Verone McKinley, who's an absolute stud. Justin Ross, Michael Clemens. This is one, I could see it happening for the Cowboys. Two, again, I think interior defensive line probably would be a good position to target in free agency. Again, this is not a very deep interior defensive line class, very top heavy. But when you got guys like Calvin Austin on the board, you can't really pass on making a super playmaker, especially when you think about Jerry Jones wanting to make their team just that much better. But Nakobe Dean, absolute steal. And the rest of these guys, all of them, of course, in my eyes are steals. That's why I draft them. But that's going to be the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Feel free, hit me up, all those links. See you on the far side. Peace.